my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. We have our scissors and spools. This is a wrap up, and I have a quilt parade for you on that. It is also Socialites. We have another block for Socialites. What number is it? We are on block 18 of 24. So we're closing in on that project. There's still a lot to do though. And a few more things. Like today is Mad About Plaid Day. I just love that, Mad About Plaid. So think back, for those of you who have been quilting quite a while, like I have, when I first started quilting, every fabric line came with plaid fabric. It was like you had printed fabric and then you had plaid fabric. Plaids were really popular, and the way that we use them here where I was quilting in Northern Virginia is we tended to use them just as like another color. So if it was a blue plaid, it was just a blue piece of fabric and it went in the quilt that way. I'm going to show you two examples of some of my early quilts where I had plaid in them. And then what was funny is that after a while that went away, and then plaids became more like the warm, cozy fall kind of feeling thing. They weren't necessarily there as just a pattern for quilt fabric. And now it's probably somewhat hard to find plaids. I have that bundle that the shark quilts are done out of, the shark blocks, and that's pretty cool. They're really nice. They're bright and cheerful and summery kind of colors. So plaid seems to have had an ebb and flow. It hasn't really surged back like it did when I was first quilt making. So here's one quilt. I did this one, and I believe it was published in a magazine. It was done in 1999. So this is when I first started designing. Yeah, so it was probably in McCall's Quick Quilts because that's where everything went when I was first designing. So this has a lot of plaids, and there's a stripe, but I think other than the stripe, other than this fabric here, everything is a plaid, including the cream. The cream is a plaid as well. Plaid, plaid, plaid. And then the back, because I know some of you like to see, this is just using up stuff on the back. So this is probably one of the few quilts where I have like almost all plaid. It just isn't what I normally do. I like them, but just didn't do them. The other one is, I'll show you my classic. This is my signature quilt, my signature applique quilt, Mama's Garden. Oh My Stars is my signature piece quilt that all of you know, but Mama's Garden, whoops, I could do it. So here's Mama's Garden. And this has some plaid in it that I used, like the basket. Where is it? Yeah, so the basket is plaid. And then I have a plaid background, this beige here. And that's also brushed cotton or like a flannel. It has like a flannel-y feel. Same with this guy. So I appliqued with the flannel. This one's hand appliqued. I actually have two versions of this quilt. One I took mostly on travel, which is all fusible applique by machine, but this one was hand appliqued, and then a friend hand quilted it for me in a sort of primitive folky style. So backing, what did I have? Pretty plain on this one. There's a bottom strip. Okay, so today is Mad About Plaid Day. If you have a plaid quilt, or you have a quilt where there's enough plaid that we can notice that there's plaid, if you, we should make it worth it, If you get one little plaid leaf in there, you're going to need to do a close-up so we can tell what it is. Oh, okay, block a day. I am loving this. So here is the spiderweb fabric. I think this was not last year, but the year before. So it's 2021's Halloween Mystery. I think I used this fabric line. And there's little silver spiders. So this is so cool. This is so cool. Tomorrow, I will pull out my pink fabric and we'll take a look at what I have and what I think I might just pull a bunch of the ones that I want to use, and we'll do that tomorrow. So that should be really fun. Okay, so you have a block a day, and I know a lot of you are doing this, and eventually I'll do a little quilt parade of some of them because they are so fun to see. There is a lot of you out there, so a lot of sharing. Okay, let's talk about Socialites. We had the list. You know, so you've got all the blocks, you can see what they are. You also know what the layout will be. The layout will come at the end from the Fat Quarter Shop, just like the Jolly Bar one is at the end. That's the way the Fat Quarter Shop does their projects. So it is from Robin Pickens today. She does really wonderful designs and wonderful fabric. She's a graphic artist, so it's really, she has beautiful things. So this is her block, and I just think, what do they call it? Oh, I didn't print off the sheet with its name, so you'll have to look when you go and download it. I like the colors. It's like a real scrappy one, so I got a chance to put in a lot of the different fabrics being used. But what I want to do is tell you something that I'm trying this year that is actually working out. Don't you like that when you think, I'm going to try to do this? It's an organizational thing, and you know, sometimes they just fail. You know, that you try something and you're like, this is not working. But I decided that I have these nice big bags, and I have a way to store them. I'm going to show you, store them on the shelf over here. I have a way to put them, on the far side. So I can put them vertical there on that far side, and I am putting the quilt blocks in here for several of the projects. I have 4 projects that I'm doing that with. Problem is there's only so much room over there, and I'm doing way more than 4 projects. So only 4 of them have a container like this, but I thought that's enough to try. And I love it. Let me show you. So this, particularly for these little bit smaller blocks, look at this. I'm doing the 6-inch Socialites. And so, oh, here's the name of it. It's in here. I did print it. Spellbound. So this one is Spellbound. I forgot I had the sheet in there. Okay, so I've got the blocks in here like this. Here's the stuff I use when I take my picture of it so I can share it. And then this is this week's block. And so this method, now this particular holder our ambassador Melissa made for me, and I just am loving this way of storing them. Now when they aren't small like this, some of them will fit, I think they'll fit like the 12-inch. Will they? Yeah, this is like a 13-inch, so the 12-inch will fit in here flat, you know. Anything else I have to fold. But I've got like the Tulip Pink ones in here. I've got the Black Wednesday in a bag like this, and this is working out. So I wanted to show you, because if you are looking for a way to store blocks and you've not tried this, maybe you want to give it a try. Put it in these project bags. That has been working for me. Okay, so I wanted to work on the Jolly Bar bonus border, so let's take a look at that. The bonus border, because we had the Jolly Bar out, I decided, okay, I'm going to cut the borders. I had all of the squares sewn that I showed you into the diamond shapes. So I have the borders here. I just cut them into the 2 sections. They're wide, they're 6-inch, you're cutting 6.5-inch strips, so you need quite a bit of this background fabric. If you didn't buy much extra from your actual project, you'll have to buy a little bit more or use something different. I mean, you could always invert your diamonds so that the aqua is in the center, and then you could use some other fabric that you have so they don't float. Mine will float because that's the way I wanted to do it. Okay, so this is a pattern you can download. Let's go over and look at the design wall, because what I did is I'm looking at color placement, and I want to show you how I'm thinking through that. Here are all of the diamond units that I sewed. I showed you the stack of them the other day. And so what I did was put the number, across the top and bottom, and then down the sides. And I don't need to see them spaced, and I actually don't need to see the middle part of the quilt. What I need to do is, for me, is to see the balance of the colors and the fabrics that are going around. And they're going to be separated. You saw those strips. They're going to be separated by quite a bit. So it's not a huge thing, but I don't want like a clump of them that look similar. So I have shifted a few already, but like right now, these 3 feel too similar to me. One does have green, but it's that red that just feels like there's too much of that. So I want to switch something up there that feels different. Like here's one that has no red. And so if I take that guy and I switch him out, so let's just put him up here and then move the red one down here. But I want to move it so that that red is not positioned the same as the other one. Like I don't want them in the same bottom right, and I don't want it in the top so that they're touching. Yeah, lots of issues, right? Tell me I'm not the only one that does this. Okay, so that feels better. That breaks that up. Even though there's 2 reds here, there's 2 reds there. That doesn't bother me that much, although I could switch. I could switch these 2. Let's see, there's a green there on that one, so that really won't. It's not bothering me that much. So I think at this point, I'm happy. I might switch one more, but actually I'm pretty happy. And then what I'll do is take the strips and take these to the sewing machine and then work on sewing all of the 4 borders. I'm hoping to get all of that border sewn really quickly. That is not that's a quick sew. It's a quick sew, and I've got it all up on the wall there, and so that's why we're kind of over on this side, because the wall behind me is super boring when we stand in front of that. So now I am looking at my planner, and so I want to show you what I did with that. We as creative people are creative in a lot of different ways. You might also bake, you might do gardening like I do. I don't bake as much as I used to, but you might do other crafts, you might paint, you might do stained glass, you might do pottery, and you might do scrapbooking. What I decided this year was to take the planner and put some stickers in it for fun and use one of the modes of the planner to just document every day what I worked on. I just thought it would be a neat visual and a neat reminder to myself how much I do every day, because even though I'm doing all this stuff in the video, it's kind of like, I don't know, it just would be, I thought it would be neat to really see it. So here we go. I need to get the March one decorated. In February, I had, whoops, so I did, that's January, there's February, so see, and then each time I did like a second page with some notes of some sort, and so now we have March, and I need to write tomorrow's, but I have lots of stickers. This is a really cute bag that was a gift, and that's full of sticker options. I have these 2 books, and these are neat. They're very Victorian. Well, they are Victorian, which is kind of weird. I'm not really, that isn't my main style, but I do like lots of different things. I thought there were a lot of fun, a lot of weird, a lot of weird stuff in it too, but a lot of fun stuff that I could pull out and use a little bit of it. And then I was doing something, I don't know, online, and got recommended these stickers to look at. And I just, this switch it. I just love them. And I think I'm going to use them all for March. So there are things like the books with the coffee cups. Look at that. And this cute mushroom. There's another mushroom. And they are like a little bit vintagey feel. There's some like paper behind, like sort of already collagey. This reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, the pocket watch. There's a cute fox. And there was something, here it is, a sewing basket. A sewing basket. Look at that. So I am going to own a bike. Look at the bike. Now that's maybe not for March. I don't ride bikes, but I love the image of bikes. So there's just a lot of really cute things. I mean, you could basically probably decorate the whole year with just these. But I am going to take some of these and decorate. So when I, I'm not want to put a ton on the calendar part because I need to use that, but I could put, I don't need to see the word notes. Do I need to see the word Saturday? I can put it here. I can write around it. And there's a cute frog down here. I can put him up here. And I like that coffee, the coffee cup. I'll write the words somewhere else. There we go. Something like that. I know a few of you also are doing this. If you feel like sharing your quilt planner, this is just a quilt planner. I'm not putting anything else in here. All of my work is basically digital for my scheduling. I do all digital now and have for many, many years. So doing a paper planner is kind of fun and different, and that's why I thought the stickers would work really well. And the last thing is scissors and spools before we wrap up. I have mine over here. There we go. Have it hanging up now. So excited. And we have a little quilt show of yours. Let's go and watch. We start with Allison, who did 3 of them into a table runner, a long wall hanging. That is gorgeous. Look at those beautiful fabrics. Amanda did a rainbow. Look at the rainbow for the color of the thread. I love it. Annika did blues, blue with gray scissors, and she's got the full quilt there. Barbara did a floral handled scissors. Wouldn't you want handles just like that for your scissors? Love it. Our ambassador Barbara in her signature aqua and red. And look at that angled stripe binding. Awesome, awesome. And the centered flower. And this Barbara did a peach version with gray scissors. That is really pretty. And like, look at the floral binding on it. That is really effective. If you've always wondered what floral binding would look like. Christina has a wave stitch fabric. Look at that. That's perfect for the spools. Colleen went with a light green thread and beautiful peach floral handles. So pretty. Corrine, now she did say this was a Tula pink fabric, and she did her one black handle, one gold handle scissor, just like the scissors you see laying at the bottom. I don't have those scissors. I should look for those. Donna did 4 of them into a wall hanging. Oh, so beautiful. Blue, yellow, and green. That's summer blue. Frances has, look at the thread. This is what I'm using, the same fabric I'm using for my Jolly Bar. And that is perfect for the spool, for the threads. I really like that. Do I have enough fabric to do one? I'm not sure. Jan, oh, look at this. The whole quilt done out at the woodpile display. Beautiful. I love that green border. Joanne also did her whole quilt, and this is also quilted. I see binding on it, and it looks like maybe some rickrack there in the inner binding. And I believe all the spools look like solids. Really nice. Love it. Jocelyn did 1 spool here with the orange handles, and you can see her collection of orange handled scissors. I love having that displayed right by your scissors. Cute shelf too. Julie went all out. She did her own layout, so she has the 6 spools, and then she took the block from our Block Wednesday and did that in the center. That is just so awesome, Julie. Carla, look at Carla's. It's just also done. She did the same binding as her scissor handles, and I love that fabric. That is my favorite fabric working with this line of Tula Pink fabrics. So Kathy did hers in peaches and green, very summery. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Kim has a blue one. Look at this. Look at her cute little box. And she did prairie points. Holy cow. That just is a cute, cute accent on here. And a plaid for the top and the bottom of the spool. Going to look at Rita's. And she also used my sleepover fabric. Oh, so good. Look how pretty that is. Turned out so nice. Robin did a red one, very, very much like mine. I like her stripe for the thread. And that is my, the cap, red cap fabric is my fabric line. I spy. Susan, look at this rainbow stripe for the thread. That is so cool. And it's finished and hanging under her cute little shelf with, I see, an antique iron up there. I love that. Tammy, this is an awesome idea. She put a hexagon grandmother's flower garden flower, 1 flower in the middle of the spool, and it fits perfectly. And then her border fabric has scissors on it. Just so dark. Oh, and the blue top and bottom of the spool, those are little bitty irons. Oh my goodness, I just noticed that. And we'll wrap up with Vanessa's. Beautiful in purple, and I love her thread fabric. So good. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Your blocks are so awesome, and I'm so thrilled that so many of you did at least 1 or 4 blocks, the 3 blocks. You did something with it, because that is the fun. Sometimes you just get enough satisfaction making 1 block, and you're good to go. Also, you're going to do your Socialites today and your block a day. Where is mine? Your block a day. I don't have enough hands. Plus, I put my stickers in. You want to see? So here's what I did. So I put the stickers in, and then on the second page where I'll make some sort of goals, There we go. So these came from the Victorian book, these two. All right, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.